Welcome to Black Link Magazine. I'm Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and I'm so excited to be here this evening with DJ Swmpthing. DJ, thank you for being
Hi.
here.
Hey,
Welcome,
hey.
welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you very much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Marvin. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I appreciate you taking the time to come visit with me.
Of course.
Tell all of the followers who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is DJ Swamp Thing. I'm out of Columbus, Ohio. I am a DJ, first of all. I'm part of the Fleet DJs, which is a coalition here in the States. We're probably the biggest coalition. Um, I'm also the founder of It's a Swamp Thing Media, which is an artist first media company. I say artist first because we want to focus on not just the music, but also the person, excuse me, the artist, their personality. We want to get a chance to, to learn about them as well as the music. And I think that's what kind of separates us maybe from someone else is that we do take that time to get to know the artist. I'm privileged to put out a mixtape every 1st and 15th with one of my business partners, Young Nisa. That is also all indie artists. So we do that bi-weekly as just another way to showcase indie artists. A lot of the artists we have relationships with. Some that's a way for us to establish a relationship is by letting them know that we support their music. Now I know I'm gonna miss something, but that's what comes to mind right now.
Okay, maybe later on something else to come to mind.
Something else will pop up. Yep. I wear a few hats,
Well, thank you so much again for being here. Like, I am so humbled that you came and wanted to talk to Black Link Magazine and to be a part of the magazine as well. Also, you said something. You said we wanted to also focus on the artists.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
A lot of times, even though the artist is who's making it happen, they tend to not be noticed or as much, right? I was talking to I had another interview, and they said that, we were talking about behind the scenes and the business of the music business, of the entertainment business.
Sure.
And that possibly like the labels and everybody else is making more than the artist is making. And the artist is the one that's doing the work. So
Absolutely.
It's just amazing to hear that you focus on your artists.
Absolutely. And if I may chime into that, we really focus on trying to put other businesses or individuals who have that same like-mindedness, right? So, we look for those publicists who feel that way. We look for, folks who do other media things or marketing, managing. I try to keep a circle of network of people who have that same vision, so that artist doesn't have that feeling, where they can feel like they go ahead and do the work, but we respect the talent. We want to reward the talent the way it should be rewarded. And one of the ways to do that is just to have people around you who think that same way.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't, they'll fizzle themselves out on their own because they see that that's not how we rock.
That's right.
So they'll go away. So we try not to worry about that part because that'll kind of do it on its own. But so we try to keep the clique not necessarily small, because you do need kind of like a child. You definitely need a village to keep that artist going. But everyone in that village kind of has the same vision.
And that's a good thing. That's a positive thing for the artist.
Sure.
So I want to know, what is it that made you get into the business of music? Like what made you say, it's music for me?
Yeah. So growing up, I was always around music. My dad, he collected vinyl and things like that. He was really into classical music and Nat King Cole and Tony Bennett and all of those folks. So I grew up around all of that, and I still listen to a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Because it was good music. And he also liked to travel, so we took a lot of road trips. So he would put in the cassette tape, dating myself, he would put in the cassette safe, and, the whole ride home, it's, soft rock and, those kind of things. So it was always in my ear. So as I grew up, I started collecting music, and me and my brother would always listen to the radio, and we used to record ourselves introducing a song, and then we had it to where we would cut it just enough to where we record for the song on the radio to play.
Oh,
So
wow.
we don't really introduce the song.
Yeah.
So we were always doing that. And then, like I said, as I got older, I started collecting CDs and kind of had my own collection and stuff like that. Fast forward, I honestly I just enjoyed music. I never really thought about being into music. I just enjoyed music. And I respected, the craft. But it wasn't until I got, much older where I said, you know what, I want to try to do something in music. And I say this all the time. I don't sing, I don't rap, I don't make beats, I don't do none of that. Don't play any instruments. So I had to find out, what can I do to to be a part of this. And I was watching an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it was my first time seeing Jazzy Jeff. And it was an episode where he was doing some DJ stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe that's it. So I started studying that art form and did some research and everything. And I mean, it was history after that. I just, I did what I could. And honestly, Marva, even then, I didn't really get really serious about it until probably less than 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what prompted it? Like, what said, all right, this is what I'm going to be doing, and I really want to dig deep.
Yeah. So I'll never forget it. I was up one night. I live in Columbus, Ohio, but I'm not from here. We've been here about 7 years or so. And I was up one night watching TV, and a commercial about a media school came on. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll check that out. And so I went and did a tour and, loved it. And then when I enrolled and became a student, a lot of the professors there were current people in the industry, radio personalities, DJs. These were people that still worked in the industry, and then they did this class, when they could. So I really got kind of an inside track on what goes on from these instructors, and that was it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this, and I have to shout those instructors out because they were so willing to be mentors. And everybody's not like, everybody doesn't want to give their jewels away, but these folks didn't have, and I don't want to name them because I know I'll forget somebody and I don't want to do that. But, if it wasn't for them really kind of saying, hey, this is what it is. You can take this road, that road, and, if it wasn't for that, I know I probably wouldn't be as far as I am now, so I really the Ohio Media School is really what put the flame behind the movement for sure.
Right.
I was blessed, again, with the mentors that I had who just said, hey, I'm going to DJ over here, come with me.
Yeah.
And so I stood there with them and just watched.
Yeah.
I just watched. And then, I had fun, we laughed and, I got to the club for free, what I mean? I went to DJ, So I had a lot of fun, but I learned a lot. The DJ mentor I had, one in particularly, two in particular, I learned a lot from those guys, because I was introduced to different kinds of things. So club, grown and sexy, artist event, different types of things that DJs were involved in. And, and then one day I got a call from one of my mentors and he said, hey, I can't make this gig. I got double booked. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah. I said, yeah, I got it. And I went and that was, and he did. And I think to this day he did it on purpose, but that started to become more common.
Right.
Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do this for me? I'll throw you a little, few dollars, blah, blah, blah. But it worked out because that's how I was able to get, for people to remember or get that reputation out there. You know what I mean? And not only that, but I wanted to succeed because I didn't want to make him look bad. Because that was his name, and his name was already well known in the city, so it meant more than just me having a gig. It also meant representing someone who is well respected. Right.
So kind of turning the tables a little bit.
Sure.
Let's talk about what do you look for in your artists? How do you choose or pick and choose? Like, yeah, I want to work with this one. Yeah, this one. Nah, not so much this one. What is the process?
Attitude is big for me.
Yes. Love
big.
it.
big. I mean, you have to be willing to learn. You can't. You got to be a student. I'm still a student. Still, I'll always be a student because
Yes,
I don't know everything.
that's right.
I'm always learning. So that's huge. Attitude, humbleness. You know, you got on stage a couple of times. You know, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, you know,
That's right.
these are steps. You know, understand and even if you don't understand, willingness to learn about the business side, because I think for a lot of artists that's something they try to avoid, understandably so. Kind of, you know, I get that, but it's something that at least you should find someone who can do that, that's trustworthy and do that for you, especially if you're going to call yourself a serious artist, because they need to make sure that stuff is registered, blah blah blah, you know, that whole nine. But I keep going back to attitude because that's really what it is for me. And I can tell in a split second if your attitude is going to match. And like I talked about before we started, you know, you got to have that kind of like-mindedness that I have, because I'm going to introduce you, you know, if things work out, I'm going to introduce you to other people who have the same mindset as I do, that is going to be willing to help.
I come by way of public speaking too. And
Sure.
It's about women empowerment, right? And
Sure.
We talk about keeping a good attitude and wanting to live on purpose, happy, and treat people with kindness always, no matter what.
Absolutely.
And if I'm around somebody that has a messed up attitude all the time and everything is going wrong that could and all that stuff, then that stuff will start feeding into me, right? And so I can't have that. That's not who I choose to be. And like you said, like that relationship will separate because you go in two different directions, but they're not like-minded. They're not trying to be or be on the same page as I am. Same way with any business that you're in, you know, it's the music business, the film business, whatever it is. Whatever that strategy is, whatever that process is for you, then those are the type of people that you have to surround yourself with.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way that it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always friction. It's always tugging, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. And you know what's funny about that is that I even if the attitudes don't mesh, I still will respect you being an artist.
Yeah.
So because of that, I still have somewhat of a relationship with artists who I don't work with. Yeah. But if I see them at an event or something, it's a genuine salute to each other. Yeah. You know, I still respect you. Yeah. I'm not, just because we don't work together doesn't mean, you know, I think you're garbage or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
business.
It's just business, yeah, and you know, and I'm grateful that I think a lot of artists, you know, notice that and they respect that as well, you know, because even more so because I see that same thing be the opposite side with another set of people. Yeah. Where if they don't do business, then that's all it ever is, friction. All it ever is. Yeah. No, I don't know. No, it's cool we don't work together, but I see you on the grind. You're doing your thing. You might have gotten around some people who are like-minded like you, and that's great. I wish the best for you. Yeah. You know, and we'll, you know, salute and keep it moving. So I really take pride in that because again, you know, this business, you can't not like people and be in this business.
That's right. Yeah. And you have to be yourself. I think that you can't change for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Try to make it work because it won't work. Absolutely. Come in your genuine self. And I just had an interview and I was saying that, you know, I always thought maybe it's something in the industry that I want to do in the background, right? Not so much, I'm not going to perform on stage or nothing like that, but you know, in the background, but I was like, am I just too nice because of the things and the griminess I hear about the music business, right? And the minute that they see that think you're weak, then it's, you know, they try to take advantage of you, which I'm nice, but don't be getting it twisted, right? Don't be crossing no lines, but you know, still genuine. And so what do you say about the music business behind the scenes, you know, when you talk about contracts, when you talk about making deals and how it could get really bad?
Yeah. Read. I'll say that again. Read. Yeah. Educate. Yeah. That's the only way. And maybe that's taboo, but I'm telling you, it's going to keep you out of the weeds. You know, because if you educate yourself on something and then you go through that experience and you start to realize, okay, this looks familiar. I think this is something I've read about. You might be able to dodge that and ask questions. Ask questions. If someone who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing will fall apart if you keep asking questions.
Yeah.
They won't be able to answer after a while.
That's kind of like, I had a conversation with somebody else, and they were talking about how, like when you come into the music business, they give you advances, right? Oh, I'll give you this advance and you go out and you get your whatever you're going to get and let's get this thing started. But every time you go on tour and make that money, they gonna get theirs first off top. Right? And they said you have to, in order to keep track of that, ask their label for an audit. And if you get to asking them for an audit and they ain't about the right thing, they're gonna quickly get their stuff together or they're gonna let you go.
That's wow. So I have a room on Clubhouse we do on Wednesdays. It's called We're the DJ, You're the Artist. And that was our conversation today.
Wow.
Well, we talked about, this is what we talked about, the difference between being an indie artist and signing to a label.
Yes.
And that was one of the differences. You get that label and, they throw that money at you and you're not thinking clearly. All you see is the bag.
That's it.
You know what I mean? When you sign, you get that 10,000, 20, whatever it is, and you're off to the races. You got to pay that back.
And no matter what you think, you got to pay that back.
Exactly. Again, just going back to reading and have people that want to see you that don't want to see you get hurt, having them know, pulling to the side. Hey man, just remember, even if you sign it, if you think this is the best thing for you, and you've done your research and stuff, and you still want to sign it, go ahead. But just know. Just be smart about it. Don't go out there, spending a bunch of stuff. Use it in ways that'll make a return for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah.
And some don't. They see that bag and they go get cars. They go get the jewelry. They go get and then it's time to pay it back. And you done been on tour thinking you made all this money. Your check ain't what you think it is.
Yeah. So that's why, and I do want to take this opportunity to shout out Laura. She's with a company called IndieFlow. They do a lot of business management for the artists. They're kind of like a one-stop shop site. They do business management, split sheets. There's a place on the site where if you want to do tours and things, there's different venues. Distribution, publishing, they do all of that in one place. And the people who created it were artists. So they understand, and I'm fortunate to have a couple of artists that I know who recently signed up and have nothing but great things to say, because it takes the pressure off that part of the music industry. You go be creative. We'll take care of the rest and we'll show you the results.
Right. And that's the thing, though, you got to be mindful who you choosing for your team.
Absolutely.
I want to go be creative, but who's over here handling my business?
Sure.
Because a lot of artists got in trouble that way, too, thinking they had to trust the right people, and it didn't work. So moving forward, let's talk about what you got going on today. What's going on with you today?
So, man, a lot. We, my business partner and I, let me back up a little bit. So Fleet DJs, we have our DJ conference coming up next week, July 9th through the 12th. That's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. That's going to be huge because there'll be a lot of tastemakers, influencers, DJs, producers, models, just everybody. There's some big names that attend. Artists get to, perform. Some artists get to perform. It's really a huge networking event. So we're really looking forward to that. Because a lot of us don't get to see each other, but that one time a year, so we all get to, be in one place and meet all these different people. So it's really, really great. So I encourage any artists, even if you can't make it this year, put that on your to-do list for next year and come out. And
I would love to come.
Listen, yes, come. Oh, listen, because there are going to be other magazines there and different people, media. Definitely, if you could, even if you can come this year, if you can make it down this year, come on. It's just going to be. I mean, it's going to be no sleep, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Worth it. I'll sleep on the plane.
It is right there. You go. It's definitely going to be worth it. But So right now, like I said, we have our mixtape that comes out every 1st and 15th. So tomorrow's the 1st. So we have volume 9 that's going to be dropping tomorrow, which we're really excited about that. To think that even we would be have done 9 is just crazy. And I salute the artists for that trust us with their music, because that's the only reason why we're able to have so many volumes. And we don't plan on stopping with that. And that's good. You can see that, listen to that on SoundCloud, Audio Mac. It'll be on those platforms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. My media company is doing really well. So like I said, we're artist first media music company. So what we do is pretty much give you a interview and music review promo platform. So we'll schedule interviews for you with different media people, magazines, other DJs across, anywhere really where we have a connection, and we set the interviews up for you so you can do your media run. We do email blast to send your music out to DJs and all that stuff. Yeah, we pretty much introduce you to our media network is what we really do. Even if you've been doing this for a while, a lot of artists seem to they still benefit from this kind of side of doing things, like having a DJ, because you don't really hear a DJ.
That's
you know what I mean? Yeah. So myself as a DJ, I get to, send an artist's music to just a whole bunch of other DJs. So we have those. My business partner, Young Nisa, she has a platform called Meet the Plug that she kind of does stuff similar, but they also do other things like introduce artists to different producers and different things. We have a couple of producers that we work with that shops out their music to artists. So maybe the artist is looking for different producers. They can do stuff like that. And like I said, it usually lasts about 2 weeks. And it's just nonstop interviews and music reviews, just nonstop. We promo on our websites. I play the music and the interviews on my Lunchbox mix that airs in a few cities during the week, and stuff like that. So we've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to have, great reviews and artists who've had great experiences with this. And we're not even a year old. It's not. This is brand new.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
So my question is this: what is your ultimate goal for your artists? Like, we understand the training, the marketing, what is your ultimate goal where you're like, we did it, we're there?
I don't know how this is going to sound, but it's the only, I have to give you my honest answer.
Right.
And I think my goal is to make sure they hit their goal. Help them help their goal. If they're happy with where they have come from, whether it be signed for the label, whether it be whether they consider themselves a full-time independent artist, and they're up there with artists like Chance the Rapper and different things, then we did it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So that's what I don't think I have anything super specific, honestly. Okay. Because and I think I'm so excited because I just got a shirt in today that says "Do it for the culture."
Oh, I love it.
So that is what stems. If we do it for the love, do it for the culture, everything else will come.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The money will come. If you want fame, that'll come. All of that success, wherever you think the success is in this music and media industry, that'll come if you just do it for the culture first, do it for the love. And I did that for a while. I DJ'd gigs in the beginning, even after my mentor kind of let me run free. I did a few gigs where it was little or no money, like, no charge. I'm gonna just do this for a couple hours.
Right.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. And I did that for a while. And then I got to a point where I was making money DJing. So I was able to kind of pick and choose what I wanted to kind of do, for free or whatever. So I used to do a community event here that they don't do anymore. And I would do that, no charge. It was a community event. You know what I mean? It was for the city. That was me giving back, So I really believe that, with that and kind of that do it for the culture is why I'll be able to sit in front of you and talk to you about this stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm fortunate.
Awesome. So Independent or try to get to a label? Which would
Personally, indie.
indie? And
And
forever, or do you just develop as an indie and do all that and then say, okay, I'm ready to go approach this label?
think I think if you could do it forever, I think you could. But I think also if you get that experience, like you're gonna do it forever, and then go to a label, I think you'd be okay. Because at that point, like we talked about earlier, you've kind of went through an experience. You kind of know what to expect. And I mean, obviously, still signing for the label, there'll still be some things that'll come up that you're not, that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, you'll never be able to know it all. It's
No.
Some things are just going to have you be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is how you handle this.
Yeah. You're just going to have to go through that experience, but I think you'd be able to handle it, with more professionalism and grace at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, I mean, even on another side, I mean, you have, like I said, you have those chance rappers and I think Young Dolph who, are doing really well as independent, they're doing really, really well, and they're able to make those decisions for themselves to better themselves.
Right.
And there's no anybody in the middle or nobody in a suit who thinks they know.
I like that. Let me just make my decisions,
Yeah.
So before we get out of here,
sure,
what would you tell someone that is trying to break into the business, don't really, haven't even thought about managers and all that team stuff, just now, really write music and and say his closet or whatever.
Yeah.
But really wants it. What do you leave with them?
Build a relationship with a DJ. Build a relationship with a DJ.
Well, we're going to be calling you because I have an 18-year-old.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, build a relationship with a DJ. And even if you have to shop DJs, because just because a DJ doesn't mean the relationship's going to go well. Some people mesh, some people don't. But if you're serious and you say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, then find somebody who is going to support your movement. You generally support your movement. Have heard your records, have heard you, listen to you. What are you expecting as an artist? Yeah. What do you want to accomplish as an artist? Yeah. And if they in line and agree with your vision, then you guys need to rock out together. And you say, okay, we're going to do this together. And then have that DJ, whether they play it in clubs or they have an internet show, or they might know other people who want to interview you or different things like that. It sounds easy, but that's going to be a grind. Yeah. That's going to be a grind. But I personally think that's the best way to go. And I've had a few artists who were very, very, very young who said, hey, I don't know where to start. Right. And I was like, okay, well, let me hear something. And, I heard it and I said, okay. And I've had both times. I've had it to where I didn't necessarily vibe with the music, and that's okay. Yeah. But and this is because I know we don't have much time left, but I won't say, well, I don't like the music, so we're good. Right. I will say it's not for me. Right. But I might know other DJs who might say that that's for them. So let me send it off to them and let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. And if they get lucky and say, oh yeah, I rock with that, there you go. And then again, like I said earlier, I'll still, hey man, how's it going? What's going on? Okay, I see the music's out. I say, good job, man. Keep going. Awesome. So that's it.
Good information. I appreciate your time. I really
Thank you.
The reason that I do these interviews is because I do have a son trying to do this. But not only that, there are so many people in this world that are trying to break into the business.
Yeah.
Don't really know what the business is about.
Right.
And we've seen it too many times where artists, get into the business and then you don't hear from them no more because it failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And it ruins their passion.
Yeah.
Now they don't want to do it anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, so my Instagram, which is pretty much my biggest social media part.
Do
I have
not put an
Facebook.
A in his name.
Do not put an A in Swag. There's no A. I'm not trying to get sued by the big Swamp Thing.
Right,
Don't want him knocking on my door. But yes, the real DA, the real Swmpthing DJ. So it's DJ Swmpthing backwards on IG. But you can also go to DJ Swmpthing on SoundCloud, and that's where you can hear the 1 through 8 Your Prescription mixtapes, and you can check out for the new one that's coming out tomorrow. If you're an artist out there and you want your music to be considered for the mixtape, then send that to submit.rxmixtape@gmail.com. I'll say that again, submit.rxmixtape@gmail.com. And I'll say this real quick too. It might not get on the one we're getting ready to do, but when it does, we will personally send out an email to let you know which mixtape is going to go on. So you'll know before we send out all the stuff. Let's see, and that's the biggest. I'll shoot my email out there too if that's okay. SwmpthingDJ @gmail.com. SWMPTHING DJ@gmail.com. So any inquiry, any questions about the mixtape or, the media company, anything, the Fleet DJs. If you're a DJ and you're looking to join a coalition, even if you're not from Ohio, that's okay, because we have different rooms, but I can help you go through the process and stuff like that, and you'll get into whatever state room you're in. So we can talk about that as well. And
yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Just I'm easygoing. Like I said, I love people. Just hit me up. We'll chop it up. We'll talk.
So sweet. So you guys really take advantage of what people are giving you. Like they're dropping these gems. They're giving you opportunities. You want to take advantage of those if you're really serious about being in the business. So
yes,
again, DJ Swmpthing, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. And you guys, we're going to get out of here for now, but remember to respect yourself and respect each other. We're out.